Hey guys! Today I want to share with you a little new project I have in collaboration with Chalkola. They sent me some really fun stuff in the mail, a chalkboard, which I haven't played with in a long time, and a whole set of 30 chalk markers from their brand. So the first thing I knew I wanted to do immediately as an art project with this is to replicate the beautiful cherry blossoms that I've seen on my walks in the past few weeks. It really has been spring, and so all these pink flowers, I just knew that with these Chalkola brushes I can, replicate those soft white blossoms and flowers, the pink and the white. So I used a few of the colors. I believe it was brick red, brown, and some fluorescent pink lemonade and candy pink to recreate that effect. Having this 30 marker set, there's really a lot of colors you can play with, and that's something I was really excited about. And because today was so nice out, I decided to do it on my patio out in the sun. Just doing this really reminds me of my childhood. I love chalk art when I was a kid growing up, and even in the past few weeks I've kind of noticed my neighbors' kids really upping the chalk game on the sidewalk. So having this set at my hand, I was really inspired to do and create some sort of art with chalk, and this is like the perfect tool for it. As you can see, the color is really opaque, and I have to say it writes super smooth once you initiate the pen by shaking it, pressing it a few times on the surface to let the ink flow. It really is a very smooth writing or drawing experience. It doesn't have that chalkiness feel to it too once it's like dried out, which I'm really surprised. Like, I was really careful to not let my palm rest on it, but afterwards I don't really feel that chalky feeling once this pigment, I believe, dried out. So the Chalkola chalk markers are water-based, they're non-toxic, and they washes off from cloth easily. And you can see here that I'm cleaning it by just using a damp piece of cloth and just kind of doing it a few times to make sure the entire space is cleaned off. And the cool thing about this pen is that you can also use it on glass, on whiteboards, so basically any kind of non-porous surface. So I actually tried writing on the window, and it cleaned up as easily with the same piece of cloth. So here I want to try some lettering techniques with these chalk markers based off of the stamp that I have. So I'm using white here, I'm going to be using the brown, and I want to add in some dark green, I think, or maybe it's just normal green, to have that peppermint mocha effect. And excuse the shaking, the wind is really kind of getting crazy up on the deck, so that's why it feels a little bit chaotic. But I've seen so many lettering projects that people can do on chalkboards, especially at shop fronts or like at cafes, and I've kind of always wanted to try out the same techniques in the same style as well, so this is super fun. Finally, moving indoors, I want to try a final project kind of incorporating some illustration and a quote from the famous poet William Wordsworth, "I wander lonely as a cloud," the last part about daffodils, and because I just thought it's such a lovely poem, so I'm just gonna try to do a little bit of a daffodil illustration on the side with some very vibrant green leaves and grass stalks, then complemented with the poem from William Wordsworth. trying this product. The chalk marker is definitely a new medium I've not tried before, and I think the closest thing I can compare it to in the art world would be like the acrylic paint markers, but I also think they have that product too. But it was really fun to try this out, especially playing with chalk markers again makes me feel like a kid, and this is something that I can foresee myself doing on a weekly basis, switching out different quotes, trying different letterings, doing some illustrations when I'm stressed. And by the way, I'm super surprised by how fast it dries. I was careful to not rub it, but I realized once it dried, it definitely doesn't rub off or like create smears as typical chalk would. So this has been such a fun new art material experience, and I would definitely recommend it if you want to try it out for kids in your family, or yourself, you want to experiment with more lettering art.